For the past couple of weeks, we've been exploring the beautiful area of Peninsular Malaysia, discovering jungles, historic towns, and the Asian megacity of Kuala Lumpur. Now, we're heading to the top of the country to experience a must-see adventure location for any visitor to this fabulous country. We were looking forward to a slice of paradise, but that wasn't exactly what we found. Malaysia, we have been taking buses around the country. This time we've opted for a train. So we're taking the train between Kuala Lumpur and Penang to go and see Penang State. It is supposed to be awesome. I cannot wait. Lots of other travellers have recommended that place to me, so very excited for that. Also quite excited to be on a train. Also a little surprised how modern the train service is in Malaysia. I was kind of expecting something a little more rustic. This is very comfortable. I'm having to wear 2 t-shirts because the air conditioning is fierce as it is on all public transport in the country. I don't know what's going on with that, but man, it's freezing on the buses and trains. This train line is actually about 130 years old, I think. It goes between Singapore and the Thailand border, and you can continue on through Thailand on the national train network in Thailand too if you're going up and backpacking the area. We are not going that far, but we are going up the entire west coast of the Malaysian peninsula. The ticket for this train was about 160 Malaysian ringgit, which is basically just under $20 per person. It's definitely more expensive than the bus, but it's more comfortable, and honestly, who doesn't like a train journey? You can just sit back and watch Malaysia go by. One of the best things about travelling in Malaysia is that it's quite a small country. So after 4 hours, we were right at the top and ready to take a boat.
Taking a ferry to Penang Island now. The state of Penang is right at the top of the Malaysian peninsula, not far from the Thai border. Penang Island has been classed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's where most visitors head to, and we heard that there is a lot of adventure to be had here. There are 2 ways you can get to Penang Island from the mainland. You can either drive across on that big bridge, or you can get a ferry. Who wouldn't take the ferry? It's fun. This ferry was probably the cheapest mode of transport that we have taken on our whole trip. Our next accommodation, however, was not. So this is our place that we're staying in Penang. It's a little bit different from the other rundown places that we've stayed at so far. It's a lot more space in here. It's a little bit run down, but we have a balcony and a beautiful view.
Is this room better?
Room's much better. Look at the view. Got a pool and the beach nearby. Gorgeous. And just the space is perfect for us because we've been doing a lot of work and planning for the visas and the route for our next big trip. So it's been perfect. Air conditioning, which was needed here because it's really, really, really hot. And this place is only $10 each a night. So it's more expensive than the ones we have been staying at, which have been around $4. But $10 a night for this is pretty good, I think. Our our first night in Penang Island and we're going to see what there is for dinner. We just came across a local market, food market, so we're going to try and find some Malaysian food and some treats as well.
Good options, I don't even know what to have. $3.
So I ended up choosing the mee goreng, which is only 5 ringgit, which is about $1.20. Bargain. It looks delicious. Yummy. But good. Spicy, but good.
I went for a laksa, my favourite food in Malaysia. Absolutely stunning soup. This one costs about $1.05, which is alright in my books. Let's see how it tastes. Oh, hang on. Gotta do the awkward part. Picking up noodles with and with a little bit of this, a little bit of this. Okay. So good. Very fishy, but fishy in a good way. Yum.
So we heard about this Malaysian dessert called ice kacang, and apparently this store here in the food market has one of the best ones in Penang, so we're going to try and taste it. I left enough room for this because it looks huge. Check it out.
Eat all that? How is it?
This is the most interesting dessert I've ever tried. It's basically just ice, beans and sweet corn with ice cream and syrup over the ice. So it's really interesting flavours.
You didn't say good, you said interesting. I thought it wasn't going to be nice, but it's alright. No, actually, interesting is the word. Let's have some beans and sweet corn and syrup. Every bite is a party in your mouth. It doesn't really matter which country we are visiting, we always gravitate towards eating street food or at local food markets just like this one. It's not just that the food is much cheaper here, but there is something about eating outside of a restaurant, alongside the locals, that really gives you that authentic cultural immersion, which makes travel just that little bit more rewarding.
With food this good, we were only really eating twice a day, and in the afternoons, snacking on tropical fruit. I don't know about where you live, but none of these fruits were found in the lunch boxes at the schools where we grew up. They are all delicious and a great way to ensure that we still get our much needed essential vitamins whilst we're out and about.
This one is rose apple, and that one, langsat. Oh, and don't forget those fuzzy balls called rambutans. Probably our favourite one though was the one affectionately called the queen of fruits, mangosteen. My all-time favourite tropical fruit was a little hard to come by. It's massive and called jackfruit.
That's jackfruit.
Notice that we left the king of fruits, durian, off this list, mainly because it tastes like shit.
Even though we were mainly here to work this week, it was great to have the beach right on the doorstep of the hotel for a morning stroll. At the end of the beach was a floating mosque, and we awoke every morning to the call to prayer and views of fishermen prepping for the day's work.
It's blue crab.
Yeah. We call it a flower crab.
This mud here on the beach is so thick. Like, you wonder how any of these boats actually make it off the beach into the ocean for them to fish. I mean, they don't have tractors here. They're not pulling these boats down to the sea line with like mechanical means. This is all done by hand. Literally pushing yourself and an entire boat through the mud with a stick. I hope these guys catch some fish because they seriously deserve to. It's quite interesting walking up and down the beach here. You can see the contrast in lives, that where all the fishermen huts are right on the shoreline, and in the background are these massive hotels, and it just shows what a change there must have been in the fishermen's lives here, because as Penang has exploded and the tourism industry has exploded here, and all of these hotels have changed the skyline for forever. But not only that, it's also changed their livelihoods, because we read in the local paper that some of the fishermen are now complaining to the local government that they're going out to fish and they're coming back with like 2 or 3 prawns, shrimps, and very, very small catches. And it's actually got to the point that some of them aren't even going out anymore because they're spending more in the petrol and gasoline that they need to catch the fish than they can recoup from what they actually bring back, which is very, very disheartening. The main reason for that is because of the pollution that's in the ocean now, which is coming from up the coastline and around Penang Island. The fishermen are reporting to the local newspaper that when they pull their anchors, it's coming up with black, foul, stenching kind of silt from the bottom, which never used to happen. And if you look at the ocean here, it is brown. And obviously it's not surprising that the fish don't want to live there and that they've migrated further offshore. This is another example of humanity exploding in population and not looking after the environment. When will it change? I like to start my day with a stroll, and if I can get away with it, an environmental rant. I'm also partial to a bowl of cereal, but that's kind of hard to come by in Malaysia. Their breakfast is a little different. Nasi Padang is a variety pot of spicy and intensely flavoured assortments. It's not porridge by any stretch of the imagination, but it is delicious. However, Leah did struggle to adjust to mixed spicy fish curries for breakfast. But you can't really blame her.
At least they have great kopi tarik in Malaysia.
The best way to get around in Southeast Asia is definitely by bike, your own bike. So with zero proof of actually being able to ride one, or even licensed to, we got a scooter for a few days to buzz about the island. Check out this kid. He can't get his arms around his mum and he can't get his feet on the pedals, yet he's still rocking it on the back of the bike.
it's about 35 ringgit to hire a scooter or a motorbike in Penang.
How much is that in dollars?
$4? $9. That's $9 to hire the bike for the day, and it only costs about $1 to fill up in petrol. So it's pretty cheap day out.
It's been an adventure.
So we started off today with the backpack at the back of me. So I had that backpack on, and when we stopped, we found out that somebody had tried to get in. They tried to, obviously when we were waiting at a stoplight like this, they came behind me and undid the zipper. So we learnt our lesson very quickly, and now we have the bag in front of us on the floor.
It's actually not hooked on. I'm glad you said that because it wasn't hooked on. Shit. It's down there.
So that's a lesson. Don't have your backpack on your back.
Like this fool. That's no. Like this, yes. Almost lost my passport in that little exchange. And my girlfriend. Now you look cute in a helmet, babes. Ow.
We rode about 25 minutes out of Georgetown to come and see this temple. It is called the Snake Temple because there are real life snakes in the temple as you go in. You're not protected by them, they're just hanging around. So let's go and see the snakes.
They look very alive, do they?
At first glance they look like they're fake because they're not moving and they're just sitting there, but there are actual real pit vipers that are just hanging out in the temple. In the back of the temple here there's like an outside enclosure where there are some snakes in the trees, and it's kind of closed off, and we've just spotted a mouse, a little tiny mouse in there, so I think they just fill this little area with mice for the snakes to feed on. It's really sad to see him stuck there. There's no way for him to get out. Poor mouse.
He's literally an arm's reach away, and he's a big one. Like, you just never get that in the Western world. It's totally dangerous. I wonder how many accidents they have here at this temple. There's got to have been at least a few stupid tourists that stuck their finger in and got bitten. I'm not doing that.
This place is really cool, apart from all the snakes. Don't like snakes, but the temple's really nice out here. I like it.
You ever touched a wild snake?
Yeah.
You ever been attacked?
No. I like holding snakes that are like pets, but wild vipers that are venomous, no.
Snake temple, check.
I'm scared of walking around here now just in case there's like vipers everywhere. I went to the toilet before just here and I'm like, vipers in the toilet.
Yeah, they are literally hanging everywhere, so you kind of have to look up under every low beam you go through to see if there's a viper staring at your face. Leah's having our first go on a motorbike right here. Learning on a little 125cc Honda automatic scooter, so that one day she can travel around the world on a motorbike. She's doing great so far, she's a natural. I think I'm almost ready to get on the back with her. Can I hit to ride? Can I get on the back? It's a lot harder with someone on the back. It's a lot heavier.
Oh, yeah.
So,
oh my God.
Slowly, slowly.
Oh, yeah.
big loop first of all.
Whilst we were out on the bike, we found some more secluded parts of the island. A little piece of Malaysia paradise just for us. We've been in Malaysia for about 2 weeks now, and we've experienced a lot of Malaysia's city culture. We've even experienced a bit of the rainforest scene and eaten a lot of Malaysian food and different types of food. So now we are in Penang Island and we are going to see the beaches because there's a lot of things to do here in Penang Island, and one of those things is the beach. Unfortunately, most of the coast in Penang continued to disappoint. We couldn't believe that even the beaches here in this national park were so polluted.
We decided to hike around to the least populated part of the island to see if the beach there was any better. Yeah, this beach is definitely nicer than the one where we're staying. Still though, look at the water. What? This is actually quite a nice beach. Look at this. Beautiful.
This beach isn't as clear as what we thought it was going to be.
The water's pretty dirty, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty murky. And there's venomous jellyfish in here, so we can't swim, unfortunately. But
I'm not sure that you'd want to swim in this water. It does not look clean.
No, one of the beaches that we saw coming into this national park was absolutely filthy, very polluted, dirty. So I don't really feel good about swimming in this ocean.
This national park is right on the edge of Penang Island, so it's far away from the kind of industrial areas, but there are quite a lot of people that live on the island, so it's not surprising that in Southeast Asia that they haven't managed to look after the pollution and that the water has ended up looking like this. But it's a real shame, to be honest with you, because I know what this should look like, and it should be tropical, gorgeous, beautiful water that you can snorkel in. Even with some questionable environmental issues, Malaysia was still a fantastic place to explore, and it definitely revived our appetite for adventure. It's given us the space to discuss the finer details of how we're going to make our overlanding project possible, and importantly, the space to nourish our relationship after months apart. We now feel restored and ready to return to Jersey and tackle the final stages of the construction of our new home. There is, however, one more thing that happened in that jungle, but you guessed it, that is a story for next time.
Thanks for watching, guys. Whilst we've been in Malaysia, we've also been doing our route planning for the round world adventure and big trip that's coming up.
Yeah, also I'm now headed back to the UK to continue the build of Boomerang. This is the last phase of building our home before we take off on this huge adventure. Very excited to wrap that up and share with you guys the exclusive process of doing that. So we will be releasing more content to the Kombi crew. Like, look out for a live video coming up very soon from the build, in the middle of the build, and also more 360 tours with you guys. If you want to get access to all this stuff, we give it out to our Kombi crew members who are supporting the production, because without them we wouldn't be able to make this travel series. So we are eternally grateful, and we spend a lot of time making this awesome content for you guys. So thank you for supporting us, and we will see you in the next one.